Hello friends and fellow gamers, this week we have a brand new Idle Heroes event, which is a heroic summons event offering a new hero. This might seem a bit soon for some people, but because of the 2 weeks we had with Chinese New Year, it seems that already it is time for another character in the game. So we'll be taking a look at that character towards the end of the video, but the main thing for this week is to look at this event and decide whether it's worth it if you're a spender or a free-to-play player. So stay tuned for all the updates and things you need to know about the week ahead. As well, if you need help with your Idle Heroes account, why not consider joining us on a Tuesday for account reviews? We do them through our Twitch stream and our Discord server. You can find links for both in the description down below. Now, to get access to account reviews, I need as much information about your account as possible. You can find information about the certain things I require in our Discord, but also you need permissions to join the review page. For that, there's several ways you can get involved, but one of the great ways is by backing me on Patreon, which you can find up there in the corner of the screen. So if you need help with your Idle Heroes account and you want some one-to-one advice, go check out all those things and join us on a Tuesday. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. So, given that we have a heroic summons event this week, we are getting 3 scrolls every day and some gems for logging in. Make sure you grab these every day, as these are going to be great for building up progress. And for free-to-play players especially, getting as many heroic summon scrolls as you can is really good, as that will help you with your progress in future events, especially when big events come along that let you use contract starry gems as well. Now, we have to go ahead and look at the cool events here, as this is where most of the things are for this week. First things first is the Palace of Eternity. You can swap any of the 5 heroes you see here into the new hero Finn, who is an assassin for the Fortress faction. It will cost you 10 to replace into Finn, and you can get these Eternity Crystals from here, the Palace of Crystal. Every 400 summons you do will get you 5, and you can see below there is a locked area that gives an additional 15. To unlock that, you can buy one of these $100 packages or use 2,500 starry gem equivalent items to get yourself the Palace Key. Probably a decent pack when we look at these value packs, as they do offer treasure coupons, heroic summon scrolls, and gems, but there's nothing attached to this that will benefit the event exactly, and you'll see more as to why that's the case as we move down. That means it's probably not going to be a good event for using contract starry gems, which is potentially good news for a lot of people who are low on contract starry gems, and that also means that free-to-play players probably won't be able to engage with this event from a contract starry gem point of view. So that's potentially good if you're looking to save those items. Now, the hero lottery here, this is going to give you 4-star armor every time you get yourself a copy of Finn. So that's a nice additional reward which you can pick up should you go for Finn this week. And of course, we have our summon prizes here, which are going to reward you points for using heroic summon scrolls. So by summoning heroes, you can get some scrolls back with some profit orbs, and this scales up to 200 points where you can get a queen. At 300 points, you're getting cores and soul symbols, and at 400 points, you'll get a copy of Finn. Make sure to summon this so that you can get the hero lottery rewards. And of course, at 500 points, you're going to get relics, a core, and you get a star transferring cube, which can be used at later game stuff, so you can move your star soul item from one to another. So this is quite useful for those that need to switch their late game stuff around, but most people won't be able to get use out of that, at least not right now. The other thing to note is this can be done 4 times, so you can use a maximum of 2,000 heroic summon scrolls for all of these rewards, up to 4 times. Now, there's also a heroic exchange event. This is really good, actually. It's giving Williams and Melissa 2 of the stronger heroes that came out last year, and you can pick these up for 4,500 altar stones respectively, so go ahead and grab these if you have the stones and if you need these heroes. Both of these heroes as well are really good actually for budget players, because Williams, we're going to be talking about strategies later on in a few weeks' time when we actually break down into how to use Williams as an early game player, and there are strategies using B tier Williams, you don't need an A tier, that can actually perform as well, if not better, than a Lord of Fear Aspen account, and Melissa is easily one of the best support heroes in the game. So both of these are fantastic for players at all stages, so definitely really good to see both of these. We also have the Garden Travel Log. This is a fantastic little reward system where you're getting additional bonuses for logging in. Each check-in will get you heroic summon scrolls, and this scales up to 50 scrolls for free. So yeah, getting 50 free scrolls is pretty fantastic for free-to-play players. Combine that with the additional ones you're getting for logging in, you get some really nice stuff. Also, there's more scrolls here as well. If you go to the relay, the first free area is giving 10 on top of that. So that's 81 free scrolls if you log in all 7 days this week. That is really nice. If you as well look, we have a Reverie gift box. and this is giving you access to Reverie keys. If you spend $10, you'll get a key, and you can use that here to exchange for random items. There's a 60% chance you'll get these lower tier rewards, a 30% chance to get the higher level, which is 3 times of what you see at the lower stage, and then there's a 1 in 10 chance to get yourself the stronger rewards here, such as artifacts, origin artifact selection chests, or a value equivalent resource that is 10 times what you see in these lower tiers. As well, if you get a reward twice, so let's say you opened up Crystals of Transcendence 2 times from here, you could cut out the Crystals of Transcendence and not get it in any further reward tiers. This can be useful for stuff like Master's Toolboxes, which you might not want too many of on your account, and it means you can prioritize towards the resources that you yourself are hoping to get on your account. I know for people who are later stages, they can really dial in on Star Soul upgrades. People that really need stuff for getting Destiny heroes can dial in on Sublimation and Scattered Spirit Vein Shards, Aurora Gems, Core Chests, and Spiritual Essence. So it depends on what you're really looking for your account to advance that account. And ultimately, a lot of the rewards here are really nice. And the better you tune it up, the better rewards you can get for your account. So yeah, potentially something really good if you can get a lot of keys. However, as you can see, it's 1 key for every $10, so this can get expensive quickly. Fortunately then, the next 2 areas we're going to look at are going to give you some really good ways of getting keys or spending money. So we've got the Fragrant Garden Party here. This is going to get you heroic summon scrolls back if you use your scrolls, and you get some cores thrown in here too. You can also see there's additional bonuses of Reverie keys as you scale up, and this is ultimately not a bad reward system, as it is giving keys for those of you who are willing to invest your heroic summon scrolls. Is it worth it for free-to-play players to do this? Absolutely not. I think it's completely a waste, but it is a nice way for people who want to spend to get the most value out of their scrolls. As you can see here, there are extra rewards which can be unlocked, and you do that here in the Luck Relay. As you progressively work your way along, you'll see there's, first of all, the Flower Privilege. That is actually used here in the Garden Travel Log to get some additional Prism Starry Gems. So that first tier of reward is going to get you these Prism Starry Gems once you've gone and bought that here in the talent menu, and that's going to be $15 to get to that stage. As you carry on here, another $15 is going to get you the Fragrant Privilege 1, and you can continue on until you hit Fragrant Privilege 2, and once you've spent a total of $130, you will hit the Fragrant Privilege 3. Now, the rewards here are nice. They're getting you Cores of Transcendence, Heroic Summon Scrolls, also Prism Starry Gems, and these rewards scale through as you go ahead and pick up more of these, which is already a nice reward system, but when you combine it with the Fragrant Garden Party, things get really good because these privileges are actually getting you bonus stuff. So if you look here, you're getting Cores of Transcendence, loads of them if you do all 2,000 scrolls, which would be my recommendation if you were spending. And there's also a chest here, which is giving you Stellar Shards or Crystals of Transcendence. The next stage is giving you a chest that contains all the Transcendence heroes in the game so far, except for Finn, because he's not transcended yet. But you can even see Wukong is in here, which is really nice for those of you looking for him. Definitely a hero that's turning heads, as he's both good as a support and a shield giver, and as a stun hero. Loads of cool stuff that he brings to the table. On top of that, we also have our Deluxe Tree of Origin chest, which is giving you resources which can be used in the Tree of Origin, whether it's Cores of Origin, or Sublimation, or Spiritual Essence. All 3 of these are absolutely necessary for those of you trying to advance heroes to a point where you can put Destiny rewards on them, as you do need a lot of all of that to get full subs, full cores, and all the way up to Tree of Origin level 120. So very nice for those of you hunting those resources. And then the final stage is really, really interesting, as this is giving you a lot of weird stuff. You get your access to this chest, which contains Aurora Gems and Spirit Veins. Always good to see these picked up, as these are, of course, Destiny materials, which are going to get you those higher level Destiny tiers. Great for upgrading your heroes to Destiny, great for getting the temple level higher, and of course, once you're pushing to Nirvana to eventually hopefully put Star Souls on your heroes, you need loads of Destiny resources to do so. So those of you who have 6, 7 Transcendence heroes and are looking for big Destiny improvements, this is really good for those of you who are spenders. On top of that, you're also getting a key for every single stage, and these Reverie keys, of course, can be used in the Reverie gift box. In total, there are, I think, 33 keys up for grabs across this entire thing. That's including the basic rewards and the extra rewards here from the Privilege 3, and that's a heck of a lot of keys. Also, if you think that you're spending $130 to reach this stage here, then you're actually getting 46 keys. And 46 keys is loads, because remember, every time you open 2 of the same, you can cut stuff off. So ultimately, you can really, really tailor in your rewards to what you're hunting for. I myself will be spending this week to show you how best to do that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to see how I spend on my account to maximize my reward game. That should be helpful for those of you that are looking to spend yourselves. So consider waiting and watching that video before you go ahead and get carried away. But the principle is simple. You are just cutting out the rewards you don't need to maximize your chance of getting the rewards you do need. And if you high roll, there is a chance to get some really, really crazy stuff. But yeah, these keys ultimately are going to be super duper useful for those of you hunting those later game rewards. And also you can see there's copies of Finn thrown in here as well. And just remember to summon them shards so that you can get some more 4-star armor, as more armor on the account is always useful if you're looking for progress in the blacksmith and the Grey Dwarf's Blessing. So to summarize everything for you folks, this event is really good for spenders who are hoping to spend $130. Is it worth pushing further to $200 to maximize your Reverie gift box rewards? I personally do not think so. This additional package here for $70 would be good if it was saving us from using contract story gems. Let's say if there was an event reward tied in, which would then mean we wouldn't have to spend as much on contract story gems in value packs, then yeah, I'd be very excited to spend the $70. But personally, I think it's an overstretch that isn't necessary. Of course, though, if you wanted to spend an additional $70, there's no harm in it. You are getting Prism story gems, loads of scrolls, loads of cores, and you're also getting 20 treasure coupons and 10,000 gems. It is decent enough value that I'm not going to go crying about it. But these later packages for $100 each, yeah, in my opinion, this is absolutely stupid. You're not even getting any Reverie bonuses from that point, so I really don't think it's worth pushing. Even the stupidest of spenders are probably not going to be pushing those later stages in the relay. What we can say, though, for certain is that the Reverie events like this are really good for one strong reason, and that's because it doesn't require you to use contract story gems. If you look at previous big events like Chinese New Year, Christmas, Black Friday, those events gave us great rewards, but it did require us to use as many as 7,500 contract story gems, along with the relay spending, to get ourselves a huge amount of rewards. Considering then that the Reverie gift box event doesn't require us to use those contract story gems, I actually think it's pretty good value, and the fact we can dial in our rewards by removing the things we don't want is actually super beneficial for the majority of players. So personally, I think this is a super good event, and I think it's really good to see a great opportunity for spenders to really focus their rewards on what they need. And of course, free-to-play players, you guys are getting a ton of scrolls just for logging in this week, and that's great. It makes this event a nice refresher for you to top your scrolls back up after what has already been quite a lot of events where heroic summon scrolls have likely been used for you, and it'll set you up nicely for future events, as no doubt we're going to be seeing stuff going into April and May and even June with the anniversary event where scrolls can potentially be used to get some really good rewards, especially if you're using contract story gems. Now, if we look at next week is going to be Card Clash, so Card Clash finally returns. This is a good event. Card Clash Evolution is always a nice time. Potentially an opportunity to spend. Otherwise, it's a great time for people to pick up contract story gems if they're free-to-play players. So we'll talk more about that next week and how best to approach this. It's been a while since Card Clash has come up, so they might change things to do with it. There may be some talking points there as well. So subscribe to make sure you don't miss that, as I do review events every single Friday to make sure you know what to do in the week ahead. Finally, the elephant in the room is Finn. Wow, what a terrifying looking hero. If you don't like clowns, this is not the hero for you. Oh boy, what a creepy little fella. Good thing he's an assassin. I like that thematically. I think the idea of the jester in the court being this trained assassin is quite cool thematically. If you look at his abilities, there's some really weird stuff going on. He has zeros across the board on all his skills, yet it does say he gains attack, control, immunity, block, and speed. This means that DH Games have made the mistake of not allowing his passive skill to show up on his skill card. He actually comes in at 1,200 and I think 25 speed once you add this in. That makes him slower than most assassins, but he does have this really interesting ability that if he has 100 or more energy, he actually increases his speed by 40, which actually makes him the fastest hero in the game. A shame, though, that this takes a while to trigger and he needs to end with energy. I don't know if that's going to be any good. I think that's too slow to be impactful. It's a cool ability. Definitely a balanced way of making him quick. It means he's just not going to be broken in most cases. He also has, if you look at his basic attack, the ability to randomly shapeshift an opponent. It's a single target. That's not very good. And his active skill targets a single opponent, hitting multiple times with chances to shapeshift each time, and also give them the Mask of Deceit, which removes their basic attack and makes it pretty rubbish. And they lose energy, which is quite funny. It's basically counterintuitive to what basic attacks normally do, which is give you energy. I don't think this hero is going to be very good. Single target crowd control is not great. This can't affect bosses. So ultimately, he's just kind of a little bit of a meme hero. I don't mind that too much. He's like Walter is for the Shadow faction. Single target crowd control, not bad. And it always is going to target the enemy with the lowest HP, so it's very easy to avoid this guy. So I don't imagine this hero is going to do anything to impact our use of him. I think he's going to be extremely irritating, though, to fight, as crowd controlling our lowest HP hero is going to be disgusting to deal with. That said, though, we can easily crowd control him, stop him from attacking, and that will render him completely useless. So he can be stopped relatively easy. He's not as annoying as Sherlock, for example, who can prevent himself from getting crowd controlled by reflecting the control back onto us. This is basically a bad version of Sherlock, and I'm fine with that. I don't want any more heroes on the power level of Sherlock being in the game. One thing of note as well with Finn is he is not a tenant for anyone meaningful. If we go and look at Finn, he's a tenant for Norton Hague, Patricia, Luna, and Melissa. All newer heroes to come out, and this is all their base level forms, not their Transcendence forms. So there's nothing forcing you to build him to be a tenant for a Transcendence hero, and there's none of these heroes are doing anything, right? Maybe there's a weird world where you could build Patricia as your first E5 and do some weird stuff with that, but realistically, these heroes are very, very unimpactful, and you will not be making them homeowners. There is an argument to make Melissa a support hero, but generally, these guys are not heroes you would use as a main homeowner. Early game homeowners are typically Eloise, or a Nosuke, or even, by the way, Wukong. Wow, what a great hero, I will say. Light Wukong potentially is a new way that you guys can approach the early game. That said, though, getting your hands on enough copies of a Wukong right now is not recommended, so I'm not going to start screaming about that to newer players, but it's potentially something in the future once he becomes more accessible. Either way, Finn to me is not going to be a crazy hero. This event seems really good for spenders, but a nice quiet week for free-to-plays to get themselves lots of scrolls. So a good event, but by no means a crazy one. Let me know what you make of that in the comments section down below. Either way, folks, I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to catch these every single week. I do want to stress we are so close to 100,000 subscribers now, so if you want to help me get that silver play button and you haven't already subscribed, please do. It makes a huge difference. Get your nan to subscribe, get your dog to subscribe, whoever. Get your best mate into playing this game if they don't already. Whatever it takes to get more people in the Idle Heroes community. It's always good to see more folks join, build crazy accounts, and of course have a good time along the way. I'll see you next time, folks. As always, have an amazing week, and of course, happy idling.